There may be possibilities that there's a temptation to get involved. So you want to know whether I know about Richards Bay Minerals? Yes. I've known about Richards Bay Minerals.
Where are you deployed to? The entire area or RPM only? You said no, RPM strictly. Our instruction is that you go to RPM, you don't work anywhere else.
The president does not get involved, will never say, go and do ABC. The president will say, go and do your work.
I was upset, of course.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Oh, allegedly. My people, my people, my people.
Today, my people, we are diving deep into a story that has been brewing, okay? A story about power, about words, and what happens when they don't quite add up. Something is missing here. It all started with President Cyril Ramaphosa standing before the nation, looking so calm as he always does and very confident. He looked very much in charge. But if you listen closely to his words, you will find a contradiction that is so glaring it could shake the very foundations of accountability when it comes to our president, okay?
And then, Mr. President, interference is
Honorable Speaker, without interfering,
Yeah.
Could you start from the beginning? I didn't quite get it. I don't want to ask you to repeat at the end.
No problem.
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Douglas. We can start from the beginning.
Thank you. The NDPP complained about political interference on a TV interview a few months ago. What was this complaint about? Has she been approached to explain her fears? And have you, Mr. President, interfered in any prosecutorial decisions? Are you confident that you will not be contradicted in this matter now or in the future? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable President.
No, I have not had the NDPP complaining about political interference. And I do not interfere in prosecutorial matters. I have made this very clear in this very House that as President, I am not prepared to act as a prosecutor, as a policeman, as a judge, or any of those. Because we have people who've been appointed to execute these tasks. My job is to make sure that those people are appointed and do their work in terms of our laws and in terms of our Constitution, without any interference. There may be possibilities that there's a temptation to get involved, but I've always guarded against that I should not, because the rule of law requires that institutions should act independently, without any fear or favor or prejudice. That is what I would like to repeat today. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Let's set the scene. So, the president is addressing the deployment of elite police units. This is in particular the Special Task Force and the National Interventions Unit to Richards Bay Minerals, which is a private company, right? We've heard a bit of it when we listened to Mkhwanazi and the Matlala Commission together with the ad hoc committee. Apparently, his initial response is a classic political maneuver, according to me. I see nothing else, my people, except for deflection and not wanting to answer the question. He states very clearly that, in inverted commas, the president is not responsible for the authorization of deployment. He continues to say it falls under the authority of the National Commissioner of Police. Okay, amazing, great, we hear you, and we understand that is basically what you've been saying and what other people have been saying. Actually, that is what we expect. But now he then happens to double down, my people, saying with absolute certainty that I have consequently not authorized any deployment of these teams. Got that? You would think it's case closed, right? Nope. he has obviously, according to how it looks, washed his hands off it. It's a clean, technical answer. In other words, don't look at me, it's not my fault. I knew nothing, like he always says. But then, just a few minutes later, moments later, plus minus 15 to 20 minutes later, the story decides to take a very sharp turn, okay?
Asked by Honorable Carl Niels.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. President, you say that you do not deployments of this nature. But can you confirm whether you have since instituted any investigation to determine whether the Commissioner of Police had actually authorized the deployment of the Special Task Force and National Intervention Unit in the light of the disturbing revelations by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi? Mr. President, you are a man of influence who knows how to pull strings. Can you state whether you, any member of your family, or any of your close associates currently or in the past had any relationship or business dealings with executives, board members, or shareholders of Richards Bay Minerals or its parent companies? And if so, whether this influenced or created the perception that state security resources...
Order, Honourable Member, your time is up.
...private capital.
But can I also advise the Honourable Member that you have moved beyond the original question in your supplementary. So, Mr. President, you will respond to the supplementary in relation to the question. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Richards Bay Minerals is known to me. I used to be the General Secretary of the National Union of Mine Workers, and we organized workers at Richards Bay Minerals. So I've known about that company and some of the officials and managers. I don't know the current ones. I must say, though, I met the executive global chairperson at Davos a year or two ago. And he told me about the challenges that they are having. Now, what was concerning to me about that encounter which I had with him in Davos was that they were saying, we've been in South Africa for so long, and the challenges that we are having of criminality and our key workers and managers being killed is now tilting towards us reconsidering our presence and investment in South Africa. That concerned me. And it is that we then said, the criminality that is happening in Richards Bay Minerals does need to be dealt with. And the police must deal with it. The National Commissioner must deal with problems like that. The President does not get involved, will never say, go and do ABC. The President will say, go and do your work. And your work is to make sure that people don't get killed, products don't get stolen, and there is no instability in the community, because he even briefed me about that the shareholding processes and structures were leading to instability, infighting in the community and all that. Now, all that is unknown to me, but there are people who must deal with those issues. And all one would say is, we create an environment for you to do your work. Go ahead and do it. So you want to know whether I know about Richards Bay Minerals? Yes. I've known about Richards Bay Minerals from 1982, when I started to organize mine workers at Richards Bay Minerals. Thank you.
This is where it gets interesting for me. The President now recounts a meeting that he had in Davos with the global chairperson of Richards Bay Minerals. So now, my people, listen. According to him, the message from RMB was clear as day. They were considering pulling their investments out of South Africa, and this is because of crime and instability that is plaguing their operations. How convenient for you to be talking to the President as a boss of Richards Bay Minerals. And interesting. This is a big deal, my people, a huge deal. And I don't understand why media outlets are not covering this. I really don't get it. How? This is a big deal for a country that is desperate for foreign investment. Yeah, it's fine, we need it, but not the way you're going around it, Ramaphosa, because now we see you are not as honest as you claim to be. You, in actual fact, forget the things you've once said and you hope no one picks it up. And unfortunately, allegedly, is here to pick every single thing up. All the contradictions you've made are worth actually really looking deeper into the kind of person you truly are. This, my people, is shocking. Right after describing there's a high stakes meeting, Ramaphosa then decides to make a very critical admission. Listen to me carefully and listen to him in the video very carefully. In his own words, he, my people, reveals what he did next. Not me, it's him. He's the one that is putting it out there. He says, and I quote, "It is that we then said the criminality happening in Richards Bay Minerals does need to be dealt with, and the police must deal with it."
And it is that we then said, the criminality that is happening in Richards Bay Minerals does need to be dealt with, and the police must deal with it.
What did he say? We then said that criminality happening. Who is we? We is the boss of Richards Bay Minerals together with Ramaphosa. That on its own already, my people, is political interference. That is coercion. That is abuse of power if he is going to act on what he said. Let's hear what he continues to say. It will blow your mind. He then continues to say, the National Commissioner must deal with problems like that.
The National Commissioner must deal with problems like that.
Wait a minute. Briga. Let's take it back. What did you say? The National Commissioner must deal with the problems? Okay, it's his job, but what do you mean? Didn't he just say he has no authority over police deployment just minutes ago? Okay, I know you'll probably say, no, this is just a bit too much and you're being so analytical. Let me then take you to the next thing. Why would he immediately, after a meeting, my people, with a concerned corporate giant, it's not just anyone, listen to me, it's a corporate giant that is concerned. Why is he personally instructing the National Commissioner to deal with it? Do you know what that even means?
Durban and Richards Bay, it's an hour-and-a-half drive. So they could investigate while in Durban. So I brought them back. Little did I know, Commissioner, that this RPM has got contacts in a high level of our country, of our government. Because what followed after that was a call that I received from my boss, the National Commissioner, who said to me, but I hear that you had deployed people in Richards Bay and you withdrew them. I said, yes, I deployed them there for a mission. They didn't achieve the mission. A year later, I brought them back and they are still carrying those investigations, but from my office. Then he said, no, I received a complaint from the presidency. You must send these people back there.
This, my people, is what I call the core of the contradiction, because the president is trying to downplay it, of course. He is trying to say, I did not have to tell him because it's his job to deal with it. But imagine such a communication coming from the president of the land and you with the National Commissioner. That, my people, is not just a deal with it that is supposed to be pushed aside. That is a command, okay?
Then he said, no, I received a complaint from the presidency. You must send these people back there.
He then decides to clarify and say the president does not get involved. And he will never say, go and do ABC. What? The president will say, go and do your work. This is what he said in verbatim. You heard him.
The president does not get involved, will never say, go and do ABC. The president will say, go and do your work.
But we have to look at the context. I want us to literally sit just a while here on the context for you to literally open your mind to seeing what I actually picked up when I was listening to the president. I was mad with my earphones on, alone, thinking, am I the only one hearing this? And then I looked at the views and I'm like, well, clearly I may be the only one hearing this. So if I'm the only one hearing this, let me talk about it. Please, my people, I would like your comments down below because I know I'm not crazy. I think that was not a casual off-the-card remark. No, it's not. This, go and do your work, my people, is a command that came directly on the heels of a threat to withdraw billions in investment. We understand that this man can withdraw billions. But when you, as a president, say, go do your work to a national commissioner, he is literally going to not just walk, but run to do your work. You will get preferential treatment, definitely. And what we call that is political interference. That is exactly what Mkhwanazi is talking about when he talks about politicians who are playing and dancing to the music of corrupt people, criminals, and big giants in the name of threats to withdraw billions in investment. Anyway.
So I said, okay, well, I don't mind to send them back, but you must give me the budget because I don't have money to send people back there. Then he said, no, put up a plan. I'm going to finance it. And they said, okay, that's fine. And I told my deputy to prepare a plan. Now my approach, commissioners, was that I'm no longer going to be sending people, these 5 members, to investigate the 5 cases from RPM. I'm now going to put a bigger team that is going to deploy in this area and service other business people as well as a community in that area. So I must have a bigger team because there's drugs in there, there's hijackings and many other crimes that are happening. And RPM is not the only one that is affected. So while I'm preparing that plan, which the National Commission confirmed that the CFO is going to make money available for that. While I'm preparing that plan, I then I received a phone call.
When that kind of pressure comes, my people, from the highest office in the land, it isn't just a suggestion anymore. It has moved to something serious. It is what we call a directive, okay? It is a directive that is cleverly wrapped in the language of plausible deniability. That's what I would say. It is an order without leaving a paper trail. Yes. So let's connect the dots here, okay? First, we have a major private company that complains directly to the president about its problems. Listen to me carefully. It complains directly to the president about its problems. Secondly, the same president becomes concerned, in inverted commas. I was so concerned because when he leaves, we won't have jobs. He becomes concerned about the potential loss of foreign investment. If you were to think about it from a logical and economic perspective, it actually does make a whole lot of sense. But we all know it is, yep. Thirdly, what he then does is he himself personally tells the National Police Commissioner to deal with it. He does not send the Minister of Police to do it for him. He does not tell anyone else to do it for him. He goes himself and says, deal with it. And fourthly, shortly thereafter, highly specialized police units, my people, are deployed to protect the assets of that private company. Is this all just a massive coincidence?
A phone call from a commander of the Special Task Force at the time, Brigadier Gaffley. I had said earlier I worked in the task force. So task force members and myself, we communicate. Most of them have got my numbers, so they call me anytime. Brigadier Gaffley calls me, and he is at RPM. And he says to me, General, I'm here deployed at RPM. So when I ask him, what do you mean you deployed at RPM? RPM as the company mine? And he said, yes. So I asked him, but who's there? He said, no, it's myself and the NIU. Task Force and NIU are the fighting squad of the police. They are not investigators. They are the ones that do the dirty work. If we have to arrest someone, if to penetrate houses, they do that. They don't go and present cases in court. It's not their job. But they found themselves deployed in RPM. And he says to me, General, I'm told that there were detectives that were deployed here that you withdrew. Can you have those detectives back here? So, because there must be investigation done, and I don't have anyone who does investigation. So I said to him, no, I think you need to come and see me. So he drove down to Durban. When he arrived in Durban, and I asked him, but who deployed today? He said, no, I was deployed by my component head, General Zulu, who was a major general. She deployed us to come and work here, and I asked, so where are you deployed to? The entire area or RPM only? He said, no, RPM strictly. Our instruction is that you go to RPM, you don't work anywhere else. I was upset, of course.
Or is it maybe a clear example of some form of corporate influence that is reaching the very top of our government? This chain of events, my people, blurs a very, very dangerous line. This is the line between policing for the public good and policing for private corporate interests. And let's not forget that Ramaphosa actually does benefit from mines. He definitely personally benefits from Richards Bay minerals. Even if they do not want to tell you the truth, let me tell you, if you were to follow the money, you will know what I'm talking about. I pray no one comes for me in my life, because all I'm saying is it's all over the place. I'm not saying something that I've been told by an insider. Guys, please spare my life, okay? I just read, I read, and I listen, and that's it. It's not me, it's them. I'm joking. No one is about to threaten my life. Never. This chain of events, my people, like I said, blurs a very dangerous line. It unfortunately raises a very uncomfortable question, because we must ask ourselves, who does the president really serve? We have seen recently he does not service. Let me tell you, Sandton, it has changed every single street light. Things are beautiful there. And they never changed until there was a G20 where we have people coming into our country, and you want to tell me that our president serves us and not people outside? You must be joking.
When in any household, when visitors come, they do a cleaning up. They clean up. They clean up.
When our leaders speak in layers, my people, with one message for the public record and another for corporate ears, like he did just now, we have a problem. He says that he didn't authorize the deployment. Okay, according to him, that's what he's saying. But his actions, my people, his timing, and his own words strongly, fully suggest that he set the wheels in motion, okay? In the world of politics and phrases so deep, a phrase like "go and do your work" is not a phrase we're going to take neutrally. It is an activation code. It is a way to get things done without leaving fingerprints, okay? So, the ultimate question right now that we must have and we must ask ourselves is this: was this deployment about protecting South African citizens from crime, or was it about protecting a multinational corporation's bottom line from disruption? Because when the president's word can move police units without a single official order, that is not just influence, my people. That is power operating in the shadows. And that is something every single one of us should be concerned about. I would love to hear what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is this a non-story, or is it a sign of something that is much deeper? I believe there is a whole lot of things that are way more deeper than what we see. I have covered Cyril Ramaphosa and will continue to cover him, because I don't think mainstream media is doing any justice to the things he says and the things he does. It just does not coincide, my people. But if you have found this breakdown insightful, please hit that like button and please don't forget to subscribe for more content that questions the official narrative. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you in the next one. It's bye for now.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Oh, allegedly. My people, my people, my people.